Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, we're talking about NBA Top Shots and three things that they can do to basically save the platform. In my opinion, obviously these things aren't going to be easy or just a couple things that they would tweak here and there to make this happen, but gonna go over these things. It actually might be more than three, it might be like four or five, honestly, by the time I'm getting through these. I always have a lot of ideas, and you guys seem to enjoy these videos about ideas of what they can do with Top Shot and where they can take it. But before we get into this, just wanted to let you guys know, if you guys are big NBA fans, which I assume most of you guys are because you're into NBA Top Shot, definitely consider subscribing to a free Substack newsletter that will email you every day about the NBA, just updates. So like today's article, you get it in the morning when you wake up, and it's a quick 30-40 second read. Obviously, top news story from yesterday, Warriors. And then more news and stories you might not have heard of from confirmed sources here. So Bobby Marks talking about how Booker and Towns now eligible for a 4-year, $211 million extension after making all NBA teams. Report also from a Bleacher Report verified reporter about the Hawks targeting Zach LaVine, and then same reporter about DeAndre Ayton being targeted by these teams as well. So just a quick blurb if you want to. It'll be the top link in the description to sign up. It's all free and it's all via email. So definitely subscribe up. Trying to just put these out once a day, and I think it's pretty fun and interesting. So the first thing that I think Top Shot needs to do is just have some kind of consistent market. I know since basically end of February, maybe start of March, literally anything you could buy has gone down in value unless you're buying bottlenecks that have hit, which I preach a lot on this channel, especially when the market is going down. That's still a legit way to make money by flipping these bottleneck moments, predicting them in challenges. So besides that, basically everything you bought has gone down for the past at least 3 months here. So more what I'm talking about is having a more consistent market. So that doesn't mean just it always going up. If it goes up, it could go down a little bit, 10%, maybe bump back up 10%, and then go higher 10%. So just massive like 50% swings or whatever. I mean, you could see in the last month and a half, all of base hit series 2 on evaluate market is down 37%, which is just too much. I mean, it's okay to have fluctuations like here. We went from 5,600 to 6,100 down to 5,800. So those are like fine. You could kind of time the market, play the market out like that, but just massive dips and then massive increases also are not the best for a healthy market. And this is as far as you can go back on evaluate market, but kind of a better representation is this year-long graph of a 15K Giannis. So trying to follow this white line here, you can see May of last season, this one was $22. We actually saw a little spike at the end of the playoffs, and this one got towards 30. And then during the offseason, it kind of dipped to low 20s again. And then we saw market increase in September. It was a big market increase. So honestly, ones that are that big aren't healthy because they're just going to basically dip back down. And they eventually did come in February when we kind of hit a lull. And then we saw another pretty big spike. You can see this one went up to the 30s again in February when we were having a good time in Top Shot in February and January. And then we saw the dip that we're into now, which is just a massive dip. You could see this one in the low teens. Now this one's even getting to $10 or below, so not good at all. But you can just see the insane market fluctuation. So if we just had a more consistent market where we could just maybe stay at this level like in the Decembers where this one was mid-20s and it fluctuates from 18 to 25, I think that would just be a lot more healthy than these massive swings. Even when we saw these big swings where in September this one was like in the 40s or 50s on average sale. So it's nice when you hit those big, huge bull markets on Top Shot, but it's obviously sucks when you hit the bear market. So we just had like an average between those. It would just be really nice. So hopefully they could figure that out in the long run. The next thing I wish that they would bring back are guaranteed EV positive packs. And honestly, when I first got into Top Shot, I thought it was cool that you could buy something and it would go up in value. But I thought the best part was everyone lining up for these packs and like 40 to 50% of people actually getting a pack. But if you got one, it was like guaranteed that you would at least double your money. I remember the first pack I bought was a base set pack for $9, and it had just some 35K moments in it, some 15K moments. And at that point in time, the 15K moments, no matter what player you got, was at least $15. And just on that one moment, you made the money back in your pack. So that was like the best part. It was just everybody trying to get packs because they knew they could make money off the packs. And if they got back to that, which is cutting the supply of the actual packs, but greatly increasing the demand because everyone knows they can make money off the packs, I think that was just honestly one of my favorite times in Top Shot. And it was pretty much like that for the first like 3 or 4 months once everyone got in February. Was every single pack was going to be positive, and people were honestly loving Top Shot from that point up until the down of this summer, and then they kind of brought that back in the fall where we had some decent packs, honestly. So the next thing, I actually talked about this in my other video, which was 3 things that Top Shot should be doing, and I didn't know why they weren't doing them. One of them was actually the affiliate refer friend program, and they ended up doing that. If you didn't watch my video on that, or why it's this, I think it's the second best time to get into Top Shot this summer, you should definitely check out both those videos. They'll both be linked down in the description, or one will be the end card here. But another thing was, I thought that they should just use sets primarily for flash challenges, and that could be base set 2, base set 1, it could be game recognized game, which we're looking at now, or hustle and show. I mean, at this point, there's enough moments in this collection. If they do one more this summer, that next season they could have a flash challenge literally just based on these players. I mean, these are some of the best players in the NBA in this set in particular. I mean, you can't tell me if they did a challenge where you needed the top 5 scorers of the night and they had to be a game recognized game moment. You can't tell me Durant, Steph, Jokic, Ja, Booker, Edwards, Levine, Paul George, Klay Thompson. I mean, odds are they're going to be in at least the top 10, and you just have to use game recognized game moments. So even if they're not the top, just use them. You should just really check that video out because I explained it better in that video. But essentially, it would use every single set. I calculated how many sets there are and how many times they could use them if they just did 3 flash challenges per week during the season. And you could use literally every single set at least 3 times. So throughout the year, you know you're at least getting 3 periods of utility for that set with a flash challenge. And I just think they should have more utility. I mean, all these sets are tanking because they literally haven't done anything with them in a long time. I mean, really the only thing they're doing is airdrops, but I'm pretty sure even in the playoffs, like basic sets like this haven't had utility in a long time. So just get more utility for sets, whether that's airdrops of moments or maybe just a random dapper balance adjustment, anything really. But they also have to be consistent and spread out. They need some kind of schedule to give utility to all these sets throughout the year. All right, and then the last thing, if we come back to this graph, which, I'm sorry, this graph is hard to read. They changed the way that they do these graphs on these moments, but we saw a big market uptick in September, and that was because they added a ton of new users anticipating the start of the regular season with that run it back and archive pack drops, which they actually kind of messed those up by oversupplying them. But regardless of that, they did a huge marketing push, so hopefully we'll see that in the beginning of next season again. I mean, that really helped out just having a ton of new users. We saw a big bull market in September, October, and November until it kind of crashed down towards the end of November. So hopefully we just have new users coming. The Refer a Friend program I think is great. I think the perfect use of it is this example right here. Lisa Leslie, she only has 122,000 followers, which you might think that's a lot, but it really isn't, and I'll show you an example after this. But she has some kind of partnership with Top Shot, unless she just did this on her own and just used her affiliate link, which I doubt she actually did. But people, big influencers in the basketball community that likely don't have the majority of their followers already into Top Shot, throwing their link out there and saying you can get free $15. I think that is the best use and the best way to drive new users at the moment until they do a big marketing push towards the beginning of next season. And why I said 122,000 followers is not a lot. People remember Josh Hart was like the first guy to get into NBA Top Shot really from the NBA. And if we look at his account, you might think he doesn't have a big following because he's like a mid-tier NBA player. He has over 500,000 followers. So a mid-tier NBA player compared to a retired WNBA player, I mean, it just is a big difference. Just wanted to point that out. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video on NBA Top Shot and some ways I think they can get back to killing it basically, and how it still could be a viable platform down the road for years to come. And I really think that we're going to see a turnaround here with some of the changes they've been making heading into next season. Obviously, still have the NBA Finals, but after that. So if you guys enjoyed this one, definitely subscribe up to the video. Sign up for the email list on Substack if you want that NBA news every morning. Like the video, and I'll catch you guys in another one.